In the far reaches of eastern Zambia, where the dry winds sweep through golden grasslands and the trees whisper secrets of ancient kings, there was once a lion born under the shadow of giants. His name was Otto. He was not born into peace. Arrived in a time of power and peril, in a pride ruled by the legendary rock coalition, three dominant males named Mola, Pride, and Vic. These lions were not just rulers. They were warriors, feared and respected across the Luangwa Valley. The Pride was vast, 19 lions strong. 9 fierce lionesses, 5 adolescent males, and 2 cubs barely opening their eyes. One was Maya, soft and curious. The other was Otto, small, bold, and reckless. From the beginning, he walked alone. The savannah is no place for innocence. In this land, kings are crowned not by bloodlines, but by blood spilled. The mighty rise, the weak vanish, and legends are carved through survival. In the wild, fate doesn't wait for the worthy. It watches, silent and cruel, testing them. Otto's test was coming. Not to become a hero, not even to be loved, but to survive and become something darker. Something feared. And so, the legend of Otto began on the very edge of oblivion. The Wamba Pride was one of the most formidable forces in Luangwa. With 3 dominant males at its helm, it thrived. In numbers and territory, Mola Pride and Vic together, they were a wall of muscle and authority. The Rock Coalition, their presence alone kept rival males at bay. The Pride's structure was impressive. 9 adult lionesses, skilled in the hunt and bonded through blood, 5 adolescent males entering the volatile edge of maturity, and 2 cubs barely weaned, full of life. Otto and Maya, at first glance, it seemed the cubs had been born into fortune. A vast family, powerful protectors, a plentiful territory with access to water and prey. But the surface lied. Otto and Maya, adventurous and naive, wandered often. While the Pride napped beneath the shade of acacia trees, they slipped into the tall grass. But out there, danger did not sleep. Leopards watched from the shadows. Hyenas whispered in the dark. One October morning, as the heat blanketed the plains, Otto and Maya went missing. Mola, the most vigilant of the 3 males, noticed their absence. He followed their scent, scanning the land like a ghost of the grass. Then he saw it. A leopard, crouched low, ready to strike. Mola moved silently, knowing the cat would flee if seen. And it did see him just a moment too late. With one brutal pounce, Mola snapped the leopard's spine. The threat was ended. Otto and Maya were safe. For now, but this event revealed something darker. Protection wasn't consistent. Not all in the Pride cared. When the males departed to expand their legacy, the cubs were left with lionesses whose hearts had hardened. Their care was instinctual at best, indifferent at worst. The kingdom was strong. But for Otto, cracks were already forming beneath his. Paw's night in Luangwa is not silent. It breathes, it watches, and it devours. While the lionesses vanished into the darkness to hunt, Otto and Maya remained behind alone, unguarded and exposed. The shadows of the savannah are not empty. Hyenas cackled from the distance. But something even more sinister lurked nearby. From the rocks emerged death in silence. A black mamba lightning in the form of a serpent. No roar, no chase. Just one strike. Maya, ever curious, wandered too close. One bite was enough. Her small body convulsed and stilled under the moonlight. By morning, she was gone. When the Pride returned, one lioness noticed the absence. She followed the scent and found Maya's body, but the snake had not left. It bit again. The lioness died hours later, writhing and foaming as the venom tore. Through her, from a distance, the pride watched. No one dared approach. They knew the signs, the hissing, the agony, the scent of death. A mamba meant certain doom for them, the apex hunters of Africa. And so, 2 deaths passed in silence. No mourning, no vengeance, just the wind. Otto, once part of a pair, was now alone. The game of innocence was over. His world had shifted, subtle at first, then violently final. The lionesses became colder, more distant. With the males gone, they had no patience for a needy cub. Otto had become a burden. His mother, who should have been his protector, turned away. Her eyes no longer saw a son, only a distraction from the next hunt. At just 8 months old, Otto began to understand what most lions never live to learn. Survival does not favor the innocent. It favors the relentless, the cruel, the forgotten, who refuse to be erased. And so, the child faded. What remained was something else. Something watching, waiting, becoming. When the Rock Coalition left in pursuit of new lionesses, they did not look back. Mola, Pride, and Vic had found 4 abandoned females in estrus and stayed with them. For days they reveled in mating and conquest, for Otto left behind. Those days became a slow descent into isolation. The lionesses of Wamba, once proud and fearsome, grew restless without their kings. They saw Otto not as a future, but as a flaw. It's a reminder of responsibilities they no longer wanted to carry. One taught him. No one protected him. No one fed him. He followed from a distance, surviving on scraps and instinct. Then came the hunt. The pride had targeted anew near the river. The dry season was tightening its grip, and all prey clustered near the last pools of water. Otto, young and naive, trailed them. When the new fled into the river, the lionesses pursued, determined to eat. Otto, too young to understand the danger, stepped into the water. The crocodile rose from below, jaws like twin anvils. Time collapsed into a single second. Otto was caught, thrashing in the grip of death. Then, a blur of fur and fury exploded into the water. His mother, she lunged at the crocodile, claws tearing, fangs sinking deep. She saved Otto. She paid the price. Crocodile dragged her down. Her final breath escaped beneath the surface, swallowed by the river. Otto emerged alone. Again, the pride returned with their kill. No one spoke of her. No one mourned, but Otto had seen it. Her eyes, before the water took her, had looked at him not with distance, but with something primal. Love, perhaps, or guilt. Maybe both. In the savannah, bonds break easily, but some fragments remain. Some turn into iron. Otto did not cry. He did not tremble. He lay in the shadows that night, listening to the lioness's feast. Around him were sisters, aunts, strangers. But inside him, something was building layer by layer. No, not rage, not revenge. Resolve he would not beg for a place in this pride. He would take it. The savannah doesn't reward patience. It rewards strength. And Otto was learning fast. When the Rock Coalition finally returned, they brought 4 lionesses heavy with cubs. Their mission had succeeded, but the pride had changed. In their absence, 2 lionesses were dead. The cubs, only 1 remained. Otto died at first. The kings didn't recognize what he had become. But soon, they saw it in his posture, in his silence, in the way he watched every move. Otto no longer trailed behind. He stood apart, hardened, sharpened, But peace was not yet his. 5 adolescent lions remained in the pride. 4 were males. Now strong enough to challenge the order? One of them, drunk with pride, attacked Otto, slashing across his eye. The scar would remain for life. The rocks did not tolerate such defiance. They killed their own son that same night. A brutal lesson. Blood is not immunity. Rebellion is death. The others were exiled. No ceremony, no farewell. Just growls in the dark and the sound of paws vanishing into the distance. Otto, bruised but breathing, had survived another test. With the threat removed, the pride entered a fragile peace. The lionesses began to look at Otto differently. He was no longer a burden. He was a presence older than the cubs, but not yet a threat to the kings. He watched over the newborns, played with them, stood between them and danger. The Rock Coalition noticed. Mola and Pride began to train him not as a rival, but as an heir. It took him on patrols, on hunts, into battle against nomadic intruders. Otto fought alongside them, tooth to tooth, scar for scar. He bled, he learned, he endured. And then came the trial. A lone male had crossed into their territory. Mola and Pride attacked one. The other was left to Otto. The young lion fought, unsure, unsteady, but he didn't fall. He won. He stood over the body, not triumphant, but awakened. He had spilled blood, not for survival, but for legacy. The rocks saw it. They didn't need to speak. Otto had proven himself. The crown would not be passed. It would be earned, and he had earned it in teeth, in scars, in silence. For a time, the pride flourished. Otto, no longer a cub, stood at the heart of it. The lionesses accepted him. The cubs followed him. He was not just tolerated, he was trusted. When the lionesses entered Estrus, the question of succession was answered. Mola and Pride, once the undisputed rulers, stepped back. They did not expel Otto. They did not challenge him. They allowed him to mate with the entire pride before themselves. That was his coronation. No roar, no ritual, just the quiet. Yielding of power, Otto had become king. But kingship in the savannah is not eternal. Vic, the third member of the coalition, vanished during a night patrol. No trace, no struggle. Likely the work of a hunter's bullet. The Rock Coalition was breaking. Mola and Pride grew slower. Their bones ached, their jaws tired. 8 and 9 years old veterans by lion standards. The pride was full of new life, but the past was fading. They trained Otto with urgency now. No longer as a student, but as a successor to a crumbling dynasty. Every patrol, every battle, every hunt was a transfer of knowledge. Every scar, a reminder of what he would inherit and what he would one day lose. Otto rose. They declined. And all three knew the truth. The savannah does not pause for memory. It only makes room for the strongest. Mola died quietly beneath a tree. Pride followed months later, his breath fading with the wind. They had left Otto with everything they could give: territory, bloodlines, strength, and now he stood alone. King without mentors, a ruler without equals. A lion forged not by love, but by abandonment, violence, and will. The kingdom was his, but so was the silence that comes after every legend fades. The last time Otto was seen was February 2015. He stood on a ridge above the river, silent, watching the herd paths below. Tourists saw him from afar, older now, massive, eyes clouded by time and memory, scars across his face like the rings of a fallen tree. No one followed him. No other male walked beside him. Cubs he had protected had grown. The lionesses still followed, but at a respectful distance. Then, one day he was gone. No carcass was found. No roar echoed a farewell. He disappeared into the tall grass and the golden haze, as if swallowed by the very savannah that made him. Legends do not die. They vanish, leaving behind stories, silence, and a shadow in the dusk. Otto, the lion who was never meant to survive, became a king without a song, and a myth written in the dust of Luangwa.